So now I will give you the introduction of the character. By this, you can able to understand the story very well. Narrator: a 37-year-old businessman who had dreamed to sail around the world and replaced the Captain Cook's voyage. Means he wants to repeat where the Captain Cook has gone. He also wants to repeat on the same route. He spent 16 years honing his seafaring skills to finally embark on the voyage and achieve his dream of sailing in the British waters. Then actually, Mr. The narrator, he spent all his long time improving the sea skills and finally began his journey with his wife Mary and 6-year-old son Jonathan and 7-year-old daughter. There are two crew members are also there, Larry and Herbs also. So Mary, for then I will give the introduction of Mary, narrator's wife, woman with courage, and his support to her husband dream and improve her sea skill. She joins her husband on their planned 3-year voyage. Next is Jonathan. Jonathan is a 6-year-old son of the narrator, and he's a little boy with a great wisdom who understands the importance of the family, and he wished to be together even if they were died, that on the name of whatever he said to his father, on that theme the name of the chapter is also given to us. He was very optimism boy, and he has a strength, immense strength, because of his family. Next is Susan, narrator's 7-year-old daughter, who display patience, and she is very she heard. Even after then, she just said to her father that I don't have any problem. I'm with you. I will be handle the situation. All that thing means she endures the pain and remains silent, as she doesn't want to add her father's trouble, and because already his father is in problem at that time. She understands the gravity of situation and behaves in a manner such a beyond her age. Larry Wigley, an American crewman who helped the narrator to tackle the rough southern Indian Ocean. Herb Ziegler, a Swiss crewman who helped the narrator to tackle rough southern Indian Oceans. Important words and phrases are given here. Voyage, a long journey by the sea and space, honing, sharpening, improving, seafaring, regularly traveling by sea, honing seafaring skill, improving the skills required to travel by sea, jib, the triangular staysail that sets ahead for the foremast in the shape, notes a unit of speed equals to 1 nautical mile per hour, used especially for ships, aircraft, or winds. Mooring, the rope chains and anchors by or to which a boat, ship, or boat is moored. Strain, the back part of ship or a boat. Oilskin, heavy cotton cloth, waterproofed with oil. Capsing, be overturned in water. Yacht, stretched or pulled tightly. Boom, a pole that controls the angle and shape of a sail. Keel, steel structure along the base of a ship. Pinpricks in the vast ocean, the two small islands in the ocean, where I tiny like the prick caused by the pin. Then rigging, the ropes and wires support the structure of the ship. Hull, the framework of the vessel. Sextant, the instrument that guarded acres of 60-degree for taking altitude and navigation. So this is the structure of the wave breaker given here, and this is the route on which the James Cook, who voyages his journey, and writer also want to follow the same thing. He wants to be. In July 1976, the narrator and his wife Mary son Jonathan and daughter Susan sets a sail from the Plymouth, England, to duplicate the round-the-world voyage made 200 years early by the Captain James Cook. They also wants to follow the same route because they thought that it is a very hardest also, and thought that they will be enjoy this thing. That is why. So they go away. The first leg of a 1 lakh 5,000 kilometers spanning over 3 years. It is taking whatever on the route which they want to go. It will take the 3 years time. So that is the thing. Here, they took the voyage in their professionally built ship, the Wave Walker, accompanied by the two experienced sailors, Larry Wiggle and American in the Herbs Wriggles race, to tackle one of the world's roughest sea, and that is the Southern Indian Ocean. The first part of the journey, that is about 1 lakh 5,000 kilometers up to Cape Town, passes off every pleasantly. On the second day of Cape Town, they begin to encounter strong gales. Gales did not worry the narrator, but the size of the wave breaker was alarming up to the 15 meters as high as main mast, because at that time it is harmful for the boat. They are not feeling that, but the boat, if the boat was struck or something happened, then it will be the very harmful for them. So that is why. So on the second day out of the Cape Town, they face the strong gales and the waves begin to be the rising high. Their seas up to the 15 meters, so that is main problem. They were to the east of Cape Town on December 25th, 3,500 kilometers away. Despite bad weather, they celebrate Christmas, New Year Day. So on improvement in the weather, and it changed from the bad to worst. At dawn on the 2nd January, the waves were gangetic, unfriendly weather, and gangetic waves compelled the sailors to slow their speed, drop storms, jib, and take other precautions. At the dawn of 2nd January, what happened? The waves were huge, very huge, and as their ship roses to the top of each wave, they could see endless, innumerous sea rolling towards them. They dropped the storm jib to slow the boat down. Then they double lashed everything and went through their life raft drill, put on oil skins and the life jacket, and waited for the worst because they saw that the weather was going so dangerous, and it is very harmful for their life. So they will just take all the precautions whatever they have to be take, like a life raft drill, lifeline, and the jackets, all that thing. So that is the problematic for them. Suddenly, the 6 p.m., what happened? A tremendous explosion shook the fog vapor. The indication of the coming disaster come to 6 o'clock around that. The wind dropped and the sky got dark. A huge wave like a cloud came over the ship. The roar became a thunder and it struck the ship. The deck shook and a torrent of the sea weather broke over the ship. The narrators had smashed into the wheel. He accepted the approaching death and started losing the consciousness. Means he was injured. In spite of his injury, the narrator took charge of the situation. Then he was injured, but he have to be saved to his family. So he just started that thing. I have to be do something for my family to save them. So he was started. Again, he just you can say he started to save his family for that. The narrator had roused out of the water. He saw the wave breakers capsizing. Then a huge wave turned her upright. The narrator caught the guard's rails. Waves tossed him. His ribs cracked and his mouth was full of blood and broken teeth. The water was everywhere, but he did not leave the wheel to investigate. So he was continue his work. The narrator managed to cover the canvas across the gaps of preventing water from entering the ship, but nothing happened. Continuously, the waves are very high, so it will come to the there. Fortunately, the narrator found a spread electrical pump under the chart room that worked. The entire night night was spent to the pumping, steering, repairing, and sending the radio signals. The narrator checked charts, calculated that Ellie Amsterdam, a French scientific base, was near. Uh, is their hope only? And suddenly front of hatch the throw opens, the Mary appeared. She cried that they were drowning. Larry and Herbs were pumping like a madman. The broken things lay scattered here and there. The narrator swam off the children's cabin and asked if they were all right. They said they were. Though the Swiss, Suzanne means Sui, he has taken name like that, had bump over her head, her eyes, and the narrator took a hammer, screw and canvas. They put the canvas over the gaping holes. Some water had was deflected. The rivets had started to block and hand pump. The electric pumps and stopped working. The narrator worked with the help of the another hand pump. They were not getting any reply of their day calls, whatever they are asking for the help, they are not getting the help from their side. So they continuously want to save to themselves. On the 3rd January, the water level had come under control. The boat named Rip's frame had nearly broken down. They had survived for 15 hours since the waves hit. The narrator checked the charts and found that there were two small islands a few hundred kilometers to the east. They want to be saved themselves. So before going to the Australia, they want to be go somewhere to be help themselves. The boat wouldn't take them to Australia in the broken condition. One island was in Amsterdam. On January 4, after 36 of continuous pumping, they had drained out of water and now they were heading of the Lie Amsterdam Island. They ate their first meal in the almost 2 day with the corned beef and the cracker biscuit. But their respite was short-lived. At 4 p.m., black clouds began building up behind them. Within the hour, the wind was black to 40 knots and the sea were getting higher. The weather continued to deteriorate through the night. By dawn on January 5, their situation was again very desperate. So this is the thing happened with them and they are facing the situation. The near was the death. Already they come out from the problem and again they are facing the problem because the black clouds are there, means the storm was there and now they have in between the sea, no one comes to for their help, so they have to come out from that.